Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is a new episode of Cairo Local Time. In the coming 50 minutes, we are going to have a lot of segments, and we are going to start with our local news, topping the agenda, topping the list, the one-day visit of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to Kenya, which took place today. Despite the fact it's only a one-day visit, but the press conference between the two heads of states, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and his Kenyan counterpart Uhuru Kenyatta, said a lot about the impacts of this visit and the return of Egypt to Africa. We are going also to commemorate the memory of Yusuf al-Sibai. Yusuf al-Sibai, the knight of romanticism, the one who was of the main figures of the military academy in the 40s of the last century, and also who was one of the most important novelists in Egyptian modern history, the one of Rud Qalbi, or Give Me Back My Heart, the one of I'm Going Away, or Inni Rahila, the one of Ard al-Nifaq, or the Land of Hypocrisy. We are going also to have a very important segment with a very special expert who is going to tell us more about the security of your account on Facebook. Facebook was launched 13 years ago, exactly on the 4th of February 2004. During those 13 years, a lot of developments took place. What are these developments? We are going to discuss all this in detail, and also we are going to have the touristic magazine military tour a lot. So stay tuned only on Nile TV International. Welcome back. We are going to start with our local news, and upon the invitation of his Kenyan counterpart Uhuru Kenyatta, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi arrived early on Saturday in Nairobi, the Kenyan capital, for talks or for a Kenyan-Egyptian summit with his Kenyan counterpart. As presidential spokesperson Ambassador Ala Yusuf said, the talks will focus on boosting bilateral ties in various domains and the challenges facing the Middle East and the African continent, on top of which is combating terrorism and fighting extremism and ideological extremism. A press conference was held right after the summit between President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and President Uhuru Kenyatta. President Kenyatta welcomed President al-Sisi, saying that this visit indicates that Egypt is returning back to Africa to play its main role in boosting the security and stability of the Black continent. The two heads of states agreed on many steps to be taken to combat terrorism. Also, President Kenyatta spoke a lot about the important role of Al-Azhar to distribute and to help in telling the whole world the real tolerant core of Islam, far from terrorism and far from extremism. Also, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, in his speech in the press conference, thanked the Kenyan president for the warm welcome and reception to His Excellency President al-Sisi and his accompanied delegation. Also, a joint committee is going to take place or to hold various rounds under the presidency of the two top diplomats of the two countries, and this is going to take place in 2017. So Egypt is back to Africa. And accompanied by a number of high-ranking officers yesterday, on Friday, the General Commander of the Armed Forces, the Minister of Defense, General Sidqi Subhi, paid a visit to the injured army troops who are currently hospitalized in the Armed Forces hospitals. Those injured were injured while being in action in Sinai. During the visit, Sidqi stressed that the terrorist attacks in Sinai will never affect the will of the Armed Forces heroes to defend their country. Meanwhile, the 3rd Field Army of the Armed Forces continued its operations on the terrorist hideouts in central Sinai area of Jabal al-Halal. This came as the operations resulted in the killing of 3 Takfiri elements and the arrest of 3 others. The armed forces also demolished 2 caves in which terrorists stored explosives, ammunition, and tools used in manufacturing bombs. The troops also destroyed 6 4x4 vehicles and 4 motorcycles ready to be used in terrorist attacks. And resuming their efforts in chasing outlaws, the army also burned down 6 fedans of Hash in central Sinai. 3 army troops were martyred in the operations, while 4 others were injured. All these data or information was published on the official Facebook page of the official spokesperson of the Armed Forces, Brigadier Tim, who of course paid his condolences to the Egyptian people in general, and in specific to the families of the martyrs. And taking you to some economic news, Egypt's agricultural exporters are seeing a surge in demand and finding new foreign markets only months after the currency was liberalized, with many rushing to expand capacity to keep up. Egypt's pound has roughly halved in value since the central bank abandoned its peg of 8.8 to the dollar on November 3rd, making Egyptian fruit and vegetables look cheap and attractive to foreign buyers. Yet, Mustafa al-Nagari, CEO of one of the agricultural companies which recently signed deals to ship to China and is finalizing others with Australia, New Zealand, and Korea, said demand has doubled, with every product gaining 1 or 2 markets. Exports of Egyptian vegetables and fruits amount to 2.2 billion last year and would likely rise by about 15% in 2017, according to Abdel Hamid al-Demirdash, the head of Egypt's Agricultural Export Council. Taking you back to the Egyptian role in the Middle East, and it's our destiny to be the big sis when it comes to problems facing other countries. So the foreign ministers of Egypt, Tunisia, and Algeria are going to meet in Tunisia on Sunday to discuss how to solve the Libyan crisis. The meeting was scheduled to be by the 1st of March, but it was decided to be held earlier due to intensive consultations among the 3 top diplomats. Warring Libyan factions agreed late on Tuesday on an Egypt-brokered roadmap to heal divisions, with the creation of a joint committee to negotiate reconciliation and elections at most by February 2018. The deal comes after months of diplomatic efforts, or marathon efforts to be accurate, by Egypt, culminating this week with visits by Faiz al-Sarraj, Prime Minister of the UN-backed government in Tripoli, and Khalifa bin Qasim Haftar, the military commander supported by Eastern factions. A few days ago, a reshuffle was made into our cabinet, and Prime Minister Engineer Sharif Ismail said that he is going to meet with the newly appointed ministers and governors today, on Saturday, but he said that the weekly cabinet meeting is going to take place every Wednesday, and of course those few days are going to be given to the new ministers and governors to see or to study the files they are concerned with. The Premier noted that the weekly cabinet meeting is going to be, to start next Wednesday, inshallah. And among the newly appointed figures, a new governor, Engineer Nadia Abdo. Engineer Nadia Abdo, she is now the governor of Buhaira, and she is the very first woman to occupy this position, a governor. Engineer Nadia Abdo was graduated from Faculty of Engineering in 1968 from Alexandria, and she also she was very much keen to continue her high studies, so she had her MA in health engineering, and she started to be involved into public work since the year 1992. Abdo was also the first lady to be the CEO of Alexandria Water Company, as she served in this position for 10 years. She is also the founder of Aqua Arab Institution and was the first also to be elected as its chairwoman. She was the deputy governor of Alexandria for years too. Engineer Nadia Abdo, you have so many firsts in your CV, so congratulations. We wish you the best and we are expecting a lot from you. Now let's go back to before 1978 and to remember one of the main figures in our literature, not only the Egyptian but in the Arab literature, one who enriched the Arab and Egyptian literature with his works. The Knight of Romanticism, despite the fact that he was graduated from the military academy, but his words are of a poet. Yusuf al-Saba'i, who was assassinated exactly the very same day on the 18th of February back in 1978. This was in Cyprus, just because of one thing, that he believes in something, a man of concepts and values. He is not going to be forgotten ever. Talents never die. Let's just live in the coming few minutes with Yusuf al-Saba'i. Yusuf Muhammad Abdul Wahab al-Saba'i. Al-Saba'i graduated at the Egyptian Military Academy in 1937. Since then, he assumed many positions, including teaching at the Egyptian Military Academy. In 1940, he taught at the Cavalry Corps in the academy and later became a professor of the military history in 1943. Then, he was elected manager of the Military Museum in 1949. He finally reached the rank of Brigadier General. Al-Saba'i was an Egyptian writer who became the Minister of Culture in 1973 and the chairman of Al-Ahram newspaper, Al-Ahram establishment, and the head of Egyptian Journalists Syndicate, and he wrote 22 short stories, dozens of novels, the latest being Life is a Moment in 1973. He was awarded the State Award in the Arts in 1973 and a large number of medals. Al-Saba'i was regarded as a unique writer and a sophisticated intelligence politician. Saba'i was the chief editor of some Egyptian magazines including الرسالة الجديدة, آخر ساعة, المصور, in addition to Al-Ahram newspaper. He was appointed a Minister of Culture by Anwar Sadat and remained in that position till he was assassinated in Cyprus on the 18th of February 1978 because of his support for al-Sadat's initiative to make peace with Israel after the President's historical visit to Jerusalem in 1977. Saba'i's works were bestsellers. His novels were adapted in many films, which were described by critics as more important than the novels themselves. In his introduction to his book Yusuf al-Saba'i, The Knight of Romanticism, Morsi Sa'duddin mentions that al-Saba'i was not just a romantic writer, but one who expresses a political and social vision in his depiction of the events in Egypt. Yusuf al-Saba'i is held as a phenomenon in the Egyptian cultural life. One of his best novels, some rather of his best novels, which turned to be films are I'm Going Away or Inni Rahila, Give Me Back My Heart, رد قلبي, In the Ruins, بين الأطلال, the land of hypocrisy or Ard al-Nifaq, and Al-Sa'amat, the waterman died. Al-Sibai was assassinated in Cyprus on the 18th of February 1978 while he was attending an Asian African conference there. But he will never be forgotten, and he will remain as the knight of romanticism, Yusuf Al-Sibai. Welcome back. We will be happy to receive all your suggestions and comments on our website. And it's time now for our tourism magazine. Right after this, I'm going to be back, so stay tuned.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi headed on Tuesday the first meeting of the Supreme Council of Tourism after he issued a presidential decree to reorganize the council. The board of the Higher Council for Tourism will be chaired by President Fattah al-Sisi and include the Ministers of Defense, Interior, Military Production, Planning, Foreign Affairs, Local Development, International Cooperation, Culture, Tourism, Aviation, Investment, Finance, Youth Communications and Antiquities. The board will convene twice a year to set tourism policies, regulations and the general plan for touristic areas as well as evaluate the sector's performance. Earlier, Sisi asserted the need to reactivate the Supreme Council for Tourism under his own supervision to find swift solutions to the problems of tourism and accelerate the holding of the council meeting. The approval of the president to attend the council is considered very important, especially since the state has become interested in tourism and put it on its agenda. At the ancient city of Pyramids, which was Egypt's capital during the reign of King Ramses II, an excavation team in Hilchum in Germany has uncovered parts of the building complex as well as mortar pit with children's footprints. The head of the Ancient Egyptian Antiquities Department at Egypt's Antiquities Ministry, Mahmoud Afifi, described the newly discovered building complex as truly monumental, covering about 200 by 160 meters. Afifi said that the layout suggests the complex was likely a palace or a temple. The mission director explained magnetic measurements were carried out last year in order to determine the structure of the ancient city, and through those measurements the building complex was located. He explained that the site of excavation had been chosen not just because of its archaeological potential but because of its proximity to the edges of the modern village of Qanatir, which is endangering the nearby antiquities under its fields due to rapid expansion. He said that the team has also uncovered an area of about 200 square meters in its excavations. It is the goal of this work to locate a potential entrance to the monumental building, which seems not to be located, as is typical in the axis of the complex, but rather in its northeastern corner. Furthermore, a second small trench was laid out in an area where the excavators believe the enclosure wall can be traced. The team has also found a mortar pit extending at least 2.5 by 8 meters. At the bottom, a layer of mortar was uncovered in which children's footprints have been preserved. Even more extraordinary, the filling of the pit consisting of smashed pieces of painted wall plaster. The team fragments have been cleaned in situ and subsequently removed.
Welcome back. As I said in the intro of this episode, that the main segment is going to tackle a very important issue. And I think it's not only for a special generation or a special class. Exactly 13 years ago, to be accurate, on the 4th of February 2004, Facebook was launched. Let me say a revolution, let me say a pack of surprises. I don't think that Mark himself thought, or it never came to his mind that it's going to be that story of success which is really developing like a snowball, a day after the other. No, not a day after the other, an hour, a minute after the other. But what about our privacy, our security? What about this word, hacking? We do have a very special expert who is the hacker's hunter, engineer Walid Haggag. Thank you very much for being with us, sir. And as I said, we are speaking about a very important issue, despite the fact that many are still not interested in a specific kind of dealing with people. Social media. Some would say, no, I prefer Twitter. Others are going to say, no, Instagram is taking me more than anything. But Facebook has its own position, and I don't think that this is going to be shaken, at least in the coming or in the near future. Let me first, was I right when I said that it's a snowball and that Mark himself did not think that it's going to be that successful?
Yeah, you were right. And I just want to add something for the Facebook date, the launching of the date. It's actually launched at 23 October 2003 with a different name. That's the project started. It was Face Smash. And the one who written the code is Mark Zuckerberg with 3 of his classmates. And then officially launched, it was 4 February 2004. First of all, I would like to mention something, because some people, when they hear about hacker, they become afraid. The word is not... it's not something to make them afraid, because the hacker is not only a bad guy. There are a lot of types of the hacker. There are white hat hackers, there are black hat hackers. The white one, the one who is helping people. And the black one is the one who is doing bad things. And there are gray hackers. They are in the middle. They can use illegal methods to do good stuff. Like hacking a bank and get the money, then giving to the poor people. So this doing bad things for doing a good thing. This is a gray bad hacker. And there are also telecommunication hacker. The telecommunication, the one who's manipulating the telecommunication thing, that he can do something called spoofing. If you know spoofing calls, someone can call you and the number he's using to call you is not the real number that he's using. He can use your phone number without using your actual phone line, but he's using the number. So he's manipulating the ID. That's telecommunication hacker or phreaker. And there are also hacktivists. The hacktivist hacker, the one who is supporting for a religious thing or political thing. There are also government hacking crew, company hacking crew. There are a lot of types, not all of them bad. And also, I need the people to know that the hacker is very essential in this world, because sometimes you need to demo a threat to spark a solution. It's not only for doing bad things. Back to the Facebook. The Facebook is now growing second by second. And if you can see on the screen, I give them some statistics about the Facebook, and especially in the Middle East region, and especially in Egypt. If we compare Egypt between the 4 other Arab countries, we will find the huge numbers. So in 1 minute, I will tell you some statistics about Facebook in 1 minute. In 1 minute, the most content is from Egypt, which is 29,000, some of the posts, compared to Jordan, 2,500 posts. And if you compare interactions, you will find Egypt also at the top, 239,000 interaction. And if you compare between males and females, males are twice as active as females in the Arab region. But in Egypt, women's are active.
Okay.
And if you check the numbers, you will find some of the posts of the women in Egypt, 11,000. That's per minute, per 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. For example, the age between 25 and 34 years old is the most active on the internet.
Between what and what, sir?
25 to 34.
To 34, okay.
That's the most active persons all over the internet. The Arabic content is the king on the internet. That's why when someone telling me or asking me, is Egypt, actually, as we hear, a lot of enemies want to attack Egypt. They want to know about Egypt. That's right, because the most Arabic content comes from Egypt.
Yep.
The most participation in the social media is in Egypt. Egypt is one of the countries that everyone living in it contacting each other on the social media and the internet more than using the phone, which is not happening on the other Arab countries.
Yeah.
And also, if we check the Arabic content over the internet, we will find Egypt have 93% of the content from Egypt on the internet is Arabic, and only 7% in English. All these numbers, even the share is 29,600 share from Egypt. The photos interaction, 62,100, which is the most at the top. The people prefer to share photos and to reshare the post than the creation of the post or creating a post. Yeah.
Regarding creation, we made our own language of Facebook.
Yeah. And the Franco-Arab that I don't like.
It's really amazing to find people that easy to move from English to Arabic or from Arabic to English or to use this Franco-Arab thing.
That's right. They manipulating our language, and I don't like, even when someone asking me about a question in internet and saying, I was writing on the face. I said, what face? I don't know what you are talking about. It's Facebook. It's not it's WhatsApp. So
and they are comments, not commented.
Yeah. And also something.
But sir, don't you think
that not installing or setup?
Don't you think that this is really amazing or strange a little bit to find all the statistics or all the numbers you have kindly mentioned in a country where we are speaking about at least 40% who are already illiterate? I mean, they do not know how to read and write.
Yeah.
In the first place, how we do have all these numbers of people using Facebook? I mean, isn't it contradictory?
You're right, but I just want to mention something. Here in Egypt, we are going fast toward technology. So, like the thing, I think you heard about Saraha.
Yeah.
The website that they created in
and many people are now warning others that this is a hacking issue.
It's not a hacking issue, by the way. It's not, because it's not an application. It's a website like the Facebook.
Yeah.
But when someone sending you a message telling his opinion about you, the text and the IP and the origin of your place and location and all the details about your computer is saved on the server. If you didn't get the info about the one who sent you the message, it doesn't mean that the info is not stored on the server. After the owner of this website having a lot of data, he can misuse it. He can use it in a legal
way he
method.
likes.
I don't know.
Sir, one simple question.
Yeah.
Is Facebook safe?
No.
Secure?
Partially.
Can I do anything to secure my account on Facebook?
Yeah, there are a lot of things you can do, but
to reach, I mean, 100%, less than that, less than 90, 80.
Let's talk about security.
Percentages.
Let's talk about security and differentiate between privacy and security.
Okay. Security first. Security before privacy.
Actually, security and privacy, both of them is a part of the information security. Because when we talk about the information security, we are talking about network security, we are talking about operational security, we are talking about privacy, we are talking about a lot of stuff. Privacy in your hand. Don't put your personal information over the Facebook. That's the main point. Don't follow the links that you don't know. Even don't follow the links if someone sent you a message, even from your friends, and it seems like something wrong, don't answer. I saw a picture of your mom, I saw a picture of your wife over the internet in a place that is not looking good. So check if this is your wife or not. Don't follow the link. Besides, don't be happy installing a lot of apps. How can you look like after 100 years? To know how many people from your friends loving you. All
the quizzes.
The quizzes and the applications. All of this is information belong to you, about you.
And whenever you are doing this quiz, for example, you would find it written in front of you. Now, it's now checking your account. Checking your account, meaning knowing everything and every little word you've put on your Facebook.
And this is using a technique called social engineering. Social engineering is collecting information about you from the social websites and from the internet, then using it in a later on attack. So privacy, it means like when you sign an application for doing any credit card, you put your info you put your info on the paper, then you send it to the bank. If the bank misuse this information, it means against your privacy. But security means your account in the bank, no one can access the money or transfer the money.
That's
security and this is privacy.
For example, I found, for example, on my messenger, in my private inbox, a message from a Facebook user. And right after that, it's completely vanished.
I will explain for you. The Facebook user, it was existing user, and this existing user were using a fake account. So it was having a name before, but it took 1 or 2 days from you to check the message. So when the name exists, you didn't check the message. After this, Facebook disabled the account. So when Facebook disabled the account of any user, there is no name on the account, and it will be Facebook user, and the messages will vanish. That's it. So this account, it means it was a fake account, or doing some kind of spam, using anything bad. So someone reported the account of the sender, so that when the account vanished.
So this is something which I cannot prevent.
No, but you cannot follow any link, because there are a lot of tricks, and it's a very simple tricks. And I am really got mad when someone sent me a link, and I clicked the link, and then my account got hacked. So why did you click the link? He told me that he saw something bad about my family or my wife or whatever. So it's not a good thing. Even if the link appears, it's valid link, because sometimes someone sending you a link which lead you to a fake website. I mean, there are a lot of websites creating phishing sites. Phishing sites, it means identical website, same like Facebook, same like Hotmail, same like any website. But this is not the real website. So I'm sending you the link. You cannot recognize from the link because you are using a smartphone, and the smartphone has a small screen. And they are playing on this trick. They are using this trick.
Let me move to something else. For example, recently we've heard about a criminal. And who was that much successful, unfortunately, to go into the privacy and to go and to catch even photos of some people in their own bedrooms.
That's right.
And someone from the police and from the investigators who were investigating the issue from A to Z said, would you please try not to use the front camera, or try to cover the front camera, whether of your phone or even your laptop or whatever, whenever you are not using it. Whenever this phone or this laptop is connected to internet, then you are vulnerable. You are exposed to a great danger. True?
That's right.
Would you please elaborate, sir?
I would like to add something to your words,
understand.
and also cover the cam for any smart TV that having a cam. Maybe you are at home watching the TV with your family, and someone watching you through the camera on the smart TV, if it's having smart TV. I mean, if it's having a camera on the because not all the smart TVs having a camera built in.
Yes, sure.
So any cam, any connected device to the internet is not secure. There is no security 100%. Even whatever you did, there is no 100% security. But instead of having 10% of the security, try to make it harder. Because when you make it easier for remembering a simple password, it's easier also for the hacker. When you make it easier for anyone to send you a message and you click for the link, you make it easier. Any hacker trying to expose you or trying to use any vulnerability against you, he will first try to see what you are doing, see your activities, what you are like, dislike, everything about you. He will know everything about you before he will try to attack you. And sometimes you get a phone calls from a person or a company pretending they are belong to anyone collecting statistics for anything. They are using this info, and you don't know what kind of attack you will face after this.
Engineer Walid, there's something else which is really amazing for me. I found many of those bad hackers, they are not graduated from faculties of engineering, and they are not even that much well educated, they are not that much good even in language, but they are such hackers. How?
They are not such hackers, they are script kiddie hackers. This is another type of the hackers I forgot to mention. Script kiddie hackers. You know script? It's ready-made steps. He is using ready-made steps. There are a lot of tricks over the internet, and the young people or the teenagers right now are familiar with technology more than when we were at their age.
Sure.
So they can bring the steps and they follow the steps, and he is only using your ignorance about technology. He is not intelligent. He is not so clever. Never. He's using steps. I told you at the beginning, it's simple steps. So that's what he's doing. And also, if you notice, all the hacks that happen to the Arab region, it's only removing the first page of the website. It's only getting an account. It's not a real hack. A real hack, like the hack happened to Iran. When some countries, I don't want to mention, sent a malicious code or malware to Natanz, which is a facility for nuclear thing, to attack the nuclear facility. This is a hack, a government hack. But these simple things, it's not a hack at all. There are also another types of hackers. It's called academic hacker or elite hackers. These academic, someone who is learning, educating himself, and try to see how can this malware work, and then telling the people how to protect themselves against this malware.
What was your impression or your reaction when you knew about the accusations of America to Russia about the presidential
There is no evidence right now about this.
No, I mean your reaction that Facebook or that internet or it can interfere into the destiny of peoples. I mean, I think that this is something which is really amazing, and nobody thought that this is going to take place. And in the near future, I mean, in 13 years, it's not that a long period of time.
After 5 years from now, everything will be over the internet using IoT, Internet of Things. Later on, when you go to the market, the refrigerator will send you a message, don't forget to bring milk, don't forget to bring blah, blah, blah. The refrigerator will send you a message to your mobile. So everything will be over the internet. Internet is the new generation. The new age or the new era of technology will be amazing.
And let's say the new dry emotions era.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, whenever it's any occasion, all people are going only to be satisfied with an emotion, with just a smiling face,
or recording the moment,
or with a smiling face with a heart, instead of calling each other, instead of listening to each other via phone, instead of going from here to there to say thank you for being the one you are. I
remember when I was young at the feast, bringing the landline phone and calling everyone saying happy feast. Right now, it's only ready-made list, and I doubt the person who sent the message who remember who sent the message. It's only ready message, and you got the message from a lot of people, same message, same picture. So it's different. It's really different.
So I can consider this as only one of the disadvantages or advantages of internet and Facebook in specific, or it's something which we misuse. I mean, it's our fault. It's not the internet or the Facebook fault.
The extreme in anything is not good. Any extreme. If you are eating health food, extremely, it's not good. Everything extremely is not good. So using technology, it should be with awareness and training, because it's like having a weapon. You can harm yourself.
How do you evaluate the efforts exerted by those people in the internet prosecution, the investigators, those who are going to follow those hackers who are trying, not only hackers, those very hard
to trace hackers, because intelligent hackers are using high technology.
Those pages who are inciting violence, for example, or asking people to go here and there, or to demonstrate, to spread hatred among Muslims and Christians in Egypt. I mean, stuff like that. How do you see this? And how do you see the mission of combating this?
From our point of view, as an Egyptian, when I report something violence or something terrorist or anything like this to Facebook, they didn't take a good action most of the time. They said there is nothing wrong with this post, there is nothing wrong with this page. If I report something little harmful than this, but it's existing on the United States or any European country, the action happened in 10 to 20 minutes, and they remove the page or remove the post. This is I saw, or actually I contacted them about there are executed some people in Syria, in swimming pool or something like this. So I reported these photos, and there are a lot of ISIS killing things happen, and it was really bad. It was a lot of blood in the picture, and they said there's nothing wrong. And when I sent them a report about a car killing, I was testing, by the way, killing a cat, they removed it after 20 minutes.
I mean,
so nothing to say.
But sir, I mean, regarding this, and you said that their job is very hard.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to track a hacker.
Yeah, that's right.
But
it depends on the hacker, by the way. It depends if it's a script kiddie hackers or elite or a very, I mean, clever hacker, because the real hackers are not using the normal software that we were using. They are not using even our internet, because the internet we are using is only 1% of the internet.
This was my coming and last question, because unfortunately we're running out of time. We do have our internet, and there is other internets when it comes to specialized people.
Yeah, that's right.
Would you please elaborate, sir? We do have only 2 minutes.
Okay, the normal internet is using, most of the people know that the internet is Google or Yahoo or something like this, which is .com, .org, whatever. The other internet is dark internet and deep internet. This internet, to use it, you must use a special software like something called Tor browser, which lead you to another dark place of the internet with a different websites having all illegal stuff you can imagine. That's dark and deep internet. And just to say something, don't try it if you don't know what you are doing, because if you go inside this place and you know what you are doing, maybe you can be out of it, infected with malware, because most of our system having vulnerabilities and we don't know. Training and awareness is the best thing to deal with the technology. I didn't say to anyone not to use technology. We will not go further, we will not be intelligent, we are not being a good country without using the technology. But training, awareness, that's the 2 points that I always say in any interview.
Training, awareness. Would you please try to take care of what you're doing, because this is a double-scissor weapon. Use internet, but in the proper way. Well, Engineer Walid Haggag, our IT expert, thank you very much for being with us, sir.
Thank you for being a guest at your Cairo.
It was a pleasure to have you, sir, and we're going to leave you with a promise to see you again in another episode of Cairo Local Time, or on our screen on Nile TV International.
For sure.
And since we do have Mr. Engineer Walid, would you please be always with us on Nile TV International, and for more details, please log on to www.nileinternational.net. And we do have a very important exclusive interview by our colleague Nabil Chouachi with His Excellency President of Togo, and it's going to be aired right after our French panorama at 6 p.m. Cairo local time. Stay tuned. This is Nermina Abdurrahman. Thank you very much for being with us.